Get your predictions in the chat now, or in the comments, because today we are doing a first on Yahtzee Beat the Runtime. We are doing a compilation album, but most importantly, it is another fan recommendation. The third of three from the Me vs. Me Yahtzee channel. Thank you again for these recommendations. Classic listening experiences, the whole of them. Today we have WCW Mayhem, the music. Yes, WCW, as in that defunct wrestling federation that competed with the now WWE at the height of the 90s and to an extent the early 2000s. So full transparency here, I did not listen to this entire album front to back, mainly because I'm already familiar with most of the songs on an individual level just from following wrestling for a long period of my life. So I didn't think it was necessary maybe to do a front to back experience. We'll see if that comes back to bite me. I do have we had to edit the spreadsheets. I know it's real tiny. It's real tiny right now, and that's okay. I will call out these tracks to you. Just know that, oh my God, Mr. Sting, you're looking very small. There we go. Put you up there. So this is a combination of like entrance themes and like stuff used on like pay-per-views and whatnot, and just I think some other stuff. But this was 1999. This came out at I don't know if it was the height. Would that be the height of WCW's popularity, or that might be like towards the beginning of the end, actually. I feel like 98, 97 might have been the height, but I'm no wrestling historian. I could barely play Yahtzee. And now we've had a couple good Yahtzee episodes here. There's 26. I should probably stop talking because we're going to be doing 26 games. Now, a lot of these are very short. We're going to win them automatically. So don't be surprised if I speed through some of these. But we are expected to get 12 Yahtzees. So let's begin. We'll start with the Mayhem Mega Mix. Make Some Noise. Mayhem Mega Mix by DJ Ran is our opening track, coming in at a whopping 71 seconds. So we don't need to do much here. We just need to basically put a score up. So you're going to just see me kind of not necessarily speed run this, but I am going to honestly what I should be doing here. And I told myself this when I looked at this track listing is I need to go for Yahtzees. Because I need to ensure that we get Yahtzees to meet our Yahtzee frenzy, and then perhaps I can work on other things like beating the individual track listing, or getting a perfect score maybe is possible. We'll see. I think Metallica may have something to say about that later on, but you never know. But in the meantime, I will try to go for as many Yahtzees as possible, being that I already beat this song. It just kind of makes sense, right? Four of a Kind. Throw sixes out here and just see if we get them. We don't. I'll leave Yahtzee open. 219. And since I did have to alter the spreadsheet, I'll kind of have to keep an eye on it. Now we get into the WCW Monday Nitro theme. Of course, Monday Nitro is what was competing mainly with Monday Night Raw, and this is only 30 seconds, so we're going for Yahtzees, baby. We are going for all Yahtzees because the other scores will come. When you have such a low target for an individual song like this, I found that you're just better off just really playing as aggressive as possible, doing things that you normally would not do under any other circumstance. Like normally there I would have went for a straight, but I didn't. And even now I'm still feeling like, well, John, you got to go for these ones that it's giving you. No, I don't. Like we beat the song like 2 turns into it. Like what does it matter? It doesn't matter at all. So, I mean, I'll try to put up at least 100 points. I think we may not even get 100 points if we play this way. We might get there. We go. That'll save us from. We might still have our lowest scoring game though, because we're playing so aggressively that things are just kind of falling to the wayside. And you know what? We need some variety in our life. So, of course, we're going to have an album with various artists, and we're going to vary up our play style appropriately and only get 117. Guess what? It's enough to beat the track and still put us ahead of pace where we need to be. Now we have to actually play a real game. This is Insane Clown Posse's Take It. obviously a storied relationship with wrestling, even going so far as to have their own promotion. I believe that they even do wrestling matches as a featured part of the gathering of the Juggalos. There's our first Yahtzee. 4's on the floor. That'll also help us because we need 201 points here to continue our, to keep hope alive, basically. Keep with the 3s. Yeah, I actually do need to kind of try on this one because we need, we don't have a gimme score. Like getting the bonus would be super useful. We're trending in the wrong direction. That's not good. There's some 5s. Oh yeah. Okay. There's our second Yahtzee. And suddenly things have opened way up. Really though, what's going to be the problem is going to be that Metallica song. That's going to be the problem. I'm not. We got to focus on what's in front of us right now. You can see I'm just kind of throwing up scores. There's 311. Great band. Here Comes the Pain. Slayer. Okay, this is 266. This is 4.5 minutes. This is an actually respectable length that we need to concentrate here. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I know the prospect of doing over 24 games is taxing for all of us, but we have a commitment here. And I'm not going to be surprised if, if we see some other fan suggestions that are just as unhinged as this one, because there's so many. Like, this has everything that we're not used to. Basically, it has a ton of songs. It has a lot of songs that are short, and it has songs by different artists. So it's, the lengths of the songs themselves are going to vary by that nature alone. I will say it is giving me, shouldn't say it's giving me the itch. It's reinforcing it. Hello. We probably won't even beat this song. That's a sad thing. It is reinforcing the itch that I have to do some kind of wrestling theme series on the. There have been talks about it. Wow. Okay, so we got the large tray. It wasn't enough. Well, now we don't have the pressure of trying to go for a perfect score, but we can still go for a really good one. Here's Goldberg's Invasion. You forget this classic track during his undefeated streak. I mean, it's quite memorable. I don't even need to describe it to you. I'm sure you would hear it if you recognize it, if you heard it, if you're not already humming it in your head right now. Let's go for the there. I don't know why. I need to be aggressive here. We've beaten this song already, and otherwise we're going to be here all day. So, I think my goal now is if I've beat the song and I've got over 100 points, just send it and go for Yahtzees. So yeah, I normally would not play like this. I would have taken that full house. I would not be obnoxiously zeroing out things. But what's happening right now is I'm just like, come on, let's get to the next song. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to play competent Yahtzee, but we don't necessarily need to do it right here. We just need to give ourselves the opportunity to get as many as possible throughout the day. 160. Crush 'em. This is the new Goldberg theme. Okay. Now I will actually play like a typical, JWE style Yahtzee thing. I will say my finger's probably going to be all messed up after this clicking zone. That's a lot of mouse clicks, baby. It's a lot. Let's go for a Yahtzee. Ooh. For full house here. Not happening, but that's okay. Speaking of Insane Clown Posse from earlier, drinking some Faygo over here. What do we do here? That out. Still trying to get this bonus, I think. So let's go for another. Shameful. Really bad. Oh, actually, that's a 3 of a kind. That's good. Now, this is actually like here we just didn't play well. And that wasn't because we were rushing through it. We just try to get anything. It's 4 of a kind, 8 points. Yeah, it's another L. What up, Mach? This is the Macho Man Randy Savage theme. They actually repressed his rap album a couple years ago for Record Store Day. I think one of my friends got it. Now, there's no way that this is actually good, right? That is an interesting little piece of history. I mean, it's all. I don't think it was a widely known thing. I think now it's kind of become a meme. But like Macho Man Randy Savage did record an entire rap album, and I'm quite certain it's at the very least on streaming services still. I mean, when this happened, I don't remember hearing anything at all about it, but I think really in the years since his passing, it's kind of become an essential part of his just mystique is that he actually recorded a rap album. For some reason, he thought that was a good idea. And, you know, good for him for branching out. I'm sure some of the weird stuff that I've done has garnered a similar reaction, albeit on a much smaller scale, because I am not as famous as Macho Man Randy Savage was. But, you know, I still got the rest of my life ahead of me to change that. Full House. I should have been more aggressive for Yahtzees here because this song was only 4 seconds long. It's a feel good. It's a feel good performance is what that is. Let's go on to Blast. This is Kid Rock. Not the first Kid Rock mention on this channel. Probably won't be the last if I'm being honest with you. Like I said before, his star has fallen greatly. Which not to talk endlessly about Kid Rock because I mean, you know, sure it's not that interesting to most people. But so Devil Without a Cause came out in I think 99, 2000, somewhere around there. I think it was 99. That was obvious. That's the big Kid Rock album. And a lot of people I think that it's his debut album. It's not. It's not his debut album. His debut album came out in 1989. Devil Without a Cause came out 10 years later. Think about that for a second. How often do you really see this in music where, I know what you're saying, bold of you to call anything Kid Rock does music. But let's think about this for a second. Let's say that you're an artist of any kind, a band, solo, doesn't matter. And you put out an album maybe like on an indie label or even self-release, which I think is what Kid Rock did. And it doesn't do well. You have no promotion, you have no anything really. And 10 years goes by and you have another crack at it. Like that usually doesn't happen. I feel like when it comes to artists, like, you know, they could spend like 10 years like trying to come up through the ranks to get to that point to put out a first album. But it's unusual that you would put out an album and then have a decade-long gap and then all of a sudden your proper music career has started. I always found that kind of fascinating about the gap. It's like looking at a gap in a resume. It's like, what the hell were you doing this whole time? And I mean, after a certain point, like when time goes by, it's like, well, he didn't do well 10 years ago. Why are we giving him a record deal here? Because I'm pretty sure Devil Without a Cause was on a pretty big record label. Again, I'm not caught up on all my Kid Rock lore. These are just things that I know off the top of my head, so I can only really speculate about the rest. But I find that gap in his discography very fascinating and always have. It's a statistical outlier in, whatever that genre of music you want to call is, for sure. And I will say this, he was at least trying, I think, to kind of bridge the gap, what seemed like a very large gap at the time between country music and rap. And he did end up doing some other stuff later in his career that was definitely more country coded. Now, like it was insane back then to even think of combining those two genres at all. I know, didn't Toby Keith and Nelly tried to do it, and it went over like a wet fart. Now it's like, I think Old Town Road kind of cemented that as being a thing. So even though you got to also partially thank Nine Inch Nails for that one, for Old Town Road rather. I'm getting off on a tangent here. I apologize. let's get to this. Primer 55's Loose. Man, I haven't heard the name Primer 55 in quite some time. There's one of my friends, he's has talked about this band before, and we always kind of reminisce about some of these, what I call them one-hit wonders of the early 2000s nu metal scene. Primer 55 fit that bill. It feels like it. I can't remember what their big song was, but I feel like they were in that mix for sure. What do we need? 182 here. I'm losing focus quickly. Large straight, that saves us. We only have 3 Yahtzee, so we're not having all that great luck with the big scores. There's a nice 4 of a kind. We'll take, and then we'll try to get some more 5s. It's going for 2s. 207. We'll keep Yahtzee open. Obviously, want to go for it. Like I will say, with all these games that we're playing, we're already 10 games in, and we're playing a lot faster than we normally would. So I apologize if you like a nice slow Yahtzee game with a lot of thinking and me doing mental gymnastics and math to try and make things work. Like we're trying to focus on the hard hitting songs here from a length standpoint, and use the other ones as opportunity to play aggressively. Right now we're on the Sting's theme. This is the second Sting that has been featured on this series. Of course, we did a Police album not too long ago. It's crazy to think that there were two celebrities named Sting out there at the same time with a similar level of popularity, and they weren't suing each other for naming rights. Is really funny to me. I'm still salty, by the way. I know it's been years and years from when they brought Sting into WWE, like into actual WWE, and then put him in that match against Triple H, and then of course Triple H won. I thought at least have Sting win a match, and then his second match, like he gets like essentially like a career-ending injury against Seth Rollins. Like it's just a weird, like that's how you use Sting. I mean, the dude was like ancient as hell when he finally said, "Yeah, I'll go ahead and do something for WWE." Years and years after the fact. Still salty about that. All right, this is Seek and Destroy, the live edition by Metallica, and I'm pretty sure that the studio version is not much shorter than this. So, this is the longest song on this record. It's coming in at 702, 422 points, 422 seconds. So. We do need Yahtzees here. I say our chance of beating this song is unlikely, because that's really like a lucky right place, right time. So I'm not really forcing it. I'm just trying to put up a good score. Give us something to feel good about, to maybe wipe away some of the bad ones we've had over time. We did get the bonus already. So that's always a I'm gonna leave Yahtzee open. We're not beating this song. We never were going to be able to beat it, but we can at least leave Yahtzee open just in case, because we are behind on our Yahtzees. 214. I mean, we're gonna beat the album runtime like imminently, so that's pretty cool. As we move on to the Big Daddy theme, Buff Bagwell, baby. Okay, a lot of names on here that I have not heard in a while. WCW was, it was definitely when I was watching wrestling as a kid. So like a lot of people, they remember like the Attitude Era, and that was like the big thing. I was like, the period of time that I didn't watch wrestling growing up was like effectively the entire Attitude Era. I had to catch up on it like later on in adulthood. For some reason, and I can tell you exactly why. A buddy of mine got me really into pro wrestling in grade school. Okay. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. I'm going to start watching this. And so and it was, I had to sell my parents on it, even though my parents' first date was at a wrestling match. And, so, I'd watch it, and then didn't take too long, about a year or two, where, my friend and some other friends that I had that were into wrestling, they were no longer into wrestling. Now, at this time, we're getting into kind of the new generation era. This is when like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were kind of like the main WWE staples. So at that time, WCW is a thing competing with WWE, but to me, it still kind of felt like the second option, even though you started to have wrestlers going over there, right? Like Hulk Hogan was the big one, obviously, but you had Kevin Nash, Scott Hall kind of started that whole thing. Regardless, that my friends got out of it. So what happened was I stopped watching it, and then lo and behold, about less than a year later, the Attitude Era stuff starts popping off, and they're like, "Oh, did you see last night's Raw? Did you see last night's Nitro?" Like, no, assholes. Like, you stopped watching wrestling after getting me into it, so I stopped watching it, and now out of spite, I'm not going to watch it anymore. And so I literally didn't watch wrestling again until I was like 20. And it was like riding a bike. I just got right back into it. And then of course you had they started releasing like DVDs and stuff of the old pay-per-views. So I was able to catch up on some of the history. The WWE Network was extremely useful when it came out in doing that. And then I, went through a pretty consistent phase where I was going to events, watching a lot of WWE, started following some of the other promotions as well. Probably peaked right before COVID, I think, is probably where I was really paying attention to everything that was going on. And now I'm just kind of at a point, I got other stuff going on, and there's so much out there to consume that it's hard for me to keep up with wrestling. And so I have not put forth a good faith effort to do so. Instead, I'm riding the fumes of nostalgia, it seems like, as we beat Limp Bizkit's remix of Faith. And to be fair, I don't know if that's a remix of their studio recorded album from $3 Bill Y'all, or if it means remix because it's a cover. I don't know. Pause for 1 second here. Had to pause there for a second. Take a little break ski. 14 games in. Okay. Let's talk about where do we think we're going to fall on our rating today. I'm going to say like 82. About right. But we're also way behind on Yahtzee, so let's start using some of these songs like American Made, which is Hulk Hogan's, I guess, WCW theme. So he didn't take Real American with him, I guess. Makes sense. I still can't believe we live in a world where Hulk Hogan is not alive. So much of his character and gimmick was, Hulkamania lives forever. And I think he was such a heroic figure for a lot of people in their childhood that it's hard to grasp that he is actually passed away. It was like, pretty big news when I saw it. A buddy of mine both kind of got texts at the same time. We were sitting across from each other and just kind of looked at each other. We knew. Obviously, goes without saying, maybe not, maybe Hulk Hogan wasn't the best person. But, trying to deny his impact on wrestling, I think, is impossible. But as a person, kind of scummy. Anyway, we're done with that. Let's go on to Bone Crusher by the Lyrical Giants. I actually don't know what one this is. I don't know if this is a theme song. I don't know. This is why I probably should have went back and listened to this at least once. But I just kind of glanced at it and was like, oh yeah, I know these. This is 251, so we need to put a pretty good game here. That kind of throw isn't going to do it. Let's see if these fours can save us. Okay, we got four of a kind. Already have our full house. Here. Again, I really don't want to blank out Yahtzee. We need a bunch of those still, and they're not anywhere to be found. Here we have an opportunity right now. We got the bonus at least. Not enough to beat the track, but good nonetheless. This next one is our shortest song of the entire series. This was Got Him in the Corner. It is a 17-second track. So it would be almost mathematically impossible for us to there we go, look at that, we've already beat the song with a Yahtzee to lose this. So we are going for Yahtzees on every single turn. I do not care. Every turn. So I'll go for ones here since we haven't done ones. I'll stick with it, actually. Like normally I'd go for a straight, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go for whatever I can get. And if we don't get another Yahtzee, how is it I'm like halfway to saying, well, we might not get another Yahtzee, and then one happens? That's great. Our fifth Yahtzee of the day, second of this game. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. We have our third 3 Yahtzee game of the Beat the Runtime series. Fantastic. Now, dare I say, should we go for 4? I think it would be tough to get. I'm not going to be mad if we don't, because I think it would be that impossible. But if you have 3, 4 could be right behind it. You never know. Here's a chance. Okay, 398. I mean, not bad. It's 3 Yahtzees. We did it on the shortest song in the entire album. This is our 10th highest score of all time, by the way. And we've now surpassed the album runtime as we move on to pay-per-view by Rough Riders. And don't worry, when we resume our regularly scheduled trek through rock history, the original spreadsheet will be back up, so it'll be a little bit more easier to read. I do have to kind of string together an actual game here. I'm going to go for a large straight. Don't get it. That's okay. We've had some good whacks at getting a perfect 100 rating too. Again, if you're wondering what the rating is, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. This is just essentially a normalized way of tracking, comparing how we do on different albums. I don't know why I went for... I'm already starting to see ghosts now, just like Sam Darnold used to, because I'm rolling for things that we've already filled. Like, we didn't beat this song. That's okay. Let's see if we can get a last turn Yahtzee. It's not happening. 500. Okay, next. We're a half hour into this. We got 8 more games to go, baby. We're moving on to Make the Crowd Roar. This is Big Punisher and Fat Joe. These are some names that I just have not heard in a long time. Probably for good reason. I guess the big question is, can we... Oh, don't. No. That. I had to click off of it. I almost confirmed it. I wanted that full house, though. Can we get 6 Yahtzees in 8 games? I mean, that's pretty tough. Certainly doable. I mean, I think it's doable because we're going to be playing pretty aggressively on a couple of these. But it's certainly... I wouldn't bet on it. Like, I would not be betting anything. Let's see if we can get a Yahtzee here. 1. Straight, maybe. No, 2s and 3s. So I gotta kind of go for the Yahtzee here. I will zero it out there because I'm not... First now we're getting looks at a straight potentially. I don't think we might beat it. Nope, we didn't get the bonus. Let's do Kevin Nash and the Wolfpack theme. A little NWO action here. What do we need? 63. Feels like a Yahtzee, spam Yahtzee. And just go down the scorecard and see what happens. It's 4 of a kind for us. There's a 3 of a kind. Can we turn it into something else? Almost did. Switch to 5s because we still need that spot taken. $14. Like, look, large straight there. Like, nah. Like, nah, fam. I don't need that. We just keep going. It's not going to hurt our progress towards the main goal anyway. So we might as well just go for as many Yahtzees as we can when we have these opportunities available to us. There's no shame in it. We have at least a couple more opportunities like that. So let's do Cypress Hill and Defari. Who the hell's Defari? I've heard of Cypress Hill. I've actually seen them. Actually, how many of these artists have I seen? I've seen Insane. Okay, if I'm going down the list, how many of these artists have I seen in person? I've seen Insane Clown Posse. I've seen Slayer. I've seen Megadeth. I've seen Kid Rock. Primer 55, I've not seen. But I feel like I've been at an event where they were performing. That makes sense. Metallica, I've seen. What else we got on here? Limp Bizkit. Rough Riders, no. Big Punisher and Fat Joe, no. Cypress Hill, yes. Defari, no. Screwball. The West Texas Rednecks. Yeah, I've never seen those. So kind of once you get to the last part of the album, a bunch of artists I've never heard of, probably for good reason. All right, come on, let's get something here. We need Yahtzees, buddy, and they ain't coming. 213. All right, now we're going to go to Count That Man Out. This is 12 seconds long. Like, why even, like, what's the point of having these short, like, what are you going to do? Listen to a 12-second song over and over? Because it's good for us for Yahtzees, but man, like, what are we thinking here? Freeze. We have a kind. Oh, we beat the song already. Yeah, this is a marathon. The marathon's 26 miles, right? This is 26 tracks. Literal marathon. Oh. I'm going to be seeing these dice in my sleep. It's going to happen. We will get the bonus, maybe. Cool. I haven't had a good look at a Yahtzee in a while. 164, unless we get a 5 of a kind here. We got 4 more left. The longest of which is coming up now. That's Give It Up by Screwball. Clocking in at 3:47. 2 minutes, or I'm sorry, 3 minutes 47 seconds. That's 227. So we'll kind of play this one. Just try to optimize it. My strategy is like all over the place here. So if this is your first time tuning into this series, like, this is not a good representation of, say, skill, but of my play style, put it that way. Sometimes I wouldn't say my skill is always there either. For some reason, like, I'm already like, I'm getting this confused with like some of the shorter songs because I'm like, I'm just going for Yahtzees now. We did get the bonus though, so we're not out of it yet. 208. What do we need? 227. If I would have made a little bit better call and got that small straight, we would have had it. We only have 3 games left. I think getting 6 more Yahtzees is going to be tough. I'm shocked at how we've only been able to get 6, but that just shows you how fickle the Yahtzee gods can be. As we go into Bow Wow Wow, which is Conan's theme. I don't remember much about Conan. In fact, I remember so little, I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced, because it's spelled Konan, like Conan. But again, I wasn't watching a whole bunch of WCW necessarily. Like, I would tune over to it if WWE was sucking. But for the most part, once the Attitude Era happened and WCW started doing good stuff, I was out of it. And then we get a bunch of 5s. Come on, Yahtzee. Okay. Yeah, fatigue is real. It's setting in here. As one would maybe expect playing over 24 games. Probably we'll break it into 2 episodes next time. I should have taken that small straight there. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, we did beat this song, but... And again, we don't know what we're doing. Okay, let's reel it back in real quick. We got 2 more to go. Let's stretch. A big old stretch. Rap is Crap by Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks. Okay, I don't know this one, but thinking of Mr. Perfect singing a song in any capacity is comical. I might go look this one up once I'm done recording this. It's a short one. These last 2 are kind of short, so can just kind of go for an aggressive play style, I think. Very nice 4 of a kind, but we need Ideally, all the ones come out. I took that large straight. I said I was going to play aggressively, but like that guaranteed us that we'd beat this song. So I at least wanted to do that. What did I say? Our rating would be 82. We're sitting at 79.62. It's probably a given that we beat these next two songs. There's a Yahtzee, so that is big. That puts us up to 81.28. Very nice. There's a small straight. We'll just go ahead and take that. Why not? Put up a score we're proud of. And very rare to leave chance for last, I will say. 319. Look at that. And the Yahtzee. That's a pretty good score. And now Bailando, the theme of the Nitro Girls, the closing track on what has been an epic journey. It's only clocking in a minute 29. So about 90 points will do us wonders here. Let's send it. Let's go for as many Yahtzees as we can. We've eclipsed the 82 score that I thought we would acquire. So we're doing good in that aspect. And now... Oh, that was nice. That was also nice. We've beat the song. Courtesy of the bonus. Done nothing on the left so far. That's okay. Here's a chance. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I want to go straights. Mouse. May have scored our final points of the run. Oh, it's a Yahtzee. That's perfect. All right, so now we're back in this. I mean, it's giving me a large straight, but I don't want to take it. Is that greedy? I'm here for the Yahtzees. And finally, ones again. Ones are hot. 234. Okay, there you have it. Not bad. 19 out of 26. We lost on the ones I would have expected we had a good chance to lose on. That was exhausting. Me and a buddy of mine played 100 games of Yahtzee once in a row. And it was on this Yahtzee Master thing. It took hours, but we were in our 20s. This was a journey. Thank you, Mr. Me versus Me Yahtzee, for this recommendation. It was nice to live through that nostalgia again. We will be back on our normal cadence and schedule next episode for some more 80s rock and roll. But leave some comments of albums that you want to hear, because we will have another session of going through fan suggestions. I would like to have ideally more than 3, and ideally get some additional people's thoughts in there as well. So thanks for sticking with me for this 45-minute adventure. This was I'm very tired now, so thank you, WCW, putting this together. See you later.